Hello you guys, welcome to today's video. I'm super excited because I'm going to be sharing all the details about my health journey, and I'm excited because I know that by talking about it, even though it can kind of be hard to open up sometimes, I know that it'll help a lot of people and young girls who could have been struggling or are struggling with similar things, and to show that it does get better and that you're not alone. So let's just jump right into it. But before we do, I want to just give a quick trigger warning to anyone watching this who may be triggered by things like disordered eating or orthorexia, or relationships with food and exercise in general. Feel free to close this video and not watch any further, because that is a part of my health journey. So just giving a quick trigger warning, and let's just jump right into it. So my journey started when I was in high school. So I think around the time that I was like 16, 17 years old. I was a soccer player my whole life. So I was always active, always running around. I never really had to worry about what I was eating because I was so active. And by the time I was like 16 or 17, I decided to quit soccer and just do my own thing. Once I decided to quit soccer, I realized that I wanted to still learn how to work out and be active. So I joined the whole world of fitness, and I started going to the gym, following all these fitness influencers, and just started to learn everything about working out. And at first it was awesome. I really enjoyed it, and I just thought it was so fun to learn how to work out on my own, how to go to the gym. I started just learning more and more, and I thought it was super, super awesome. And as I started learning more about fitness, I started realizing that I need to learn more about food and how to use food hand in hand with my fitness goals. So that led me down the path of learning how to, count your calories, track your macros, make sure you're hitting enough grams of protein every day, clean foods, clean eating versus non-clean foods. And a lot of the fitness influencers and people that I followed back in the day, mind you, this was like 6 or 7 years ago. I'm 23 now, and the fitness industry and that whole world on social media was a lot more toxic than I believe it is right now. So anyways, I thought that that was completely normal, and that's what health was. I thought that you had to track your calories and weigh your food on a food scale and input everything into MyFitnessPal to be healthy, to get abs, to reach my fitness goals. Whatever it was, I thought that that was the only way, and that's the only thing I saw on social media too. So one thing led to another, and I started becoming so obsessed with all of this, with having control over everything I ate and tracking all my calories and working out 2 hours a day in the gym. And at first, I'll show a picture here, I got so shredded, literally the lowest body fat percentage I've ever had in my entire life. In this picture, it came pretty fast because I was really manipulating my body. I was changing the amount of macros and calories and things that I was eating, and working out all the time, lifting weights, doing cardio. And it was the lowest body fat percentage I've ever been in my entire life, yet I wasn't happy. And I feel like I always need to stress this, because people think that, oh, when I lose 10 pounds, I will be happy, or when I look like this, I will be happy. And I wasn't happy. I was actually quite miserable. I was killing myself in the gym, and my obsession with food and clean eating and counting calories and macros just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And I'm going to show another picture here to show after time how miserable this became. You can see the misery in my face of spending 2 hours in the gym, running 6 or 7 miles on the treadmill, and just doing a lot of the things that literally are not sustainable. It became to a point that it was not sustainable. I didn't want to go out to eat with friends. If I missed a day in the gym, I would feel so guilty. I'd feel so bad about myself, and it just was not good. I would beat myself up for eating anything that wasn't clean, or if I was eating more than 1,200 calories a day, which by the way is nothing, literally nothing. I thought that was healthy at the time for some reason. And I just remember mentally feeling in such a bad place. Like, I wasn't happy with the way I looked. I wasn't happy with what I was doing. I knew that there was more to life than being obsessed with every single food and thing I put in my body. And it just kept getting worse. So as this kept getting worse, because really this wasn't sustainable, I started to develop a really unhealthy relationship with food and disordered eating. I wouldn't say I had a full-blown eating disorder, but I did struggle with binge eating because I would restrict myself so much during the day that I felt the need to compensate, like at night or whatever it was, with binge eating. And I just remember being in such a low point of my life at that point, and I know how hard it is for anyone who's going through it right now, to feel so out of control of what you're eating and who you are, essentially, of just restricting during the day and binging at night and just being in this toxic cycle that literally felt like it never ended. And it was really, really hard. Probably like senior year of high school. I started to gain a lot of weight too. I'll show a picture here, but the cycle of binging and restricting and binging and restricting made me gain a lot of weight. This was like the heaviest I've ever been in my entire life. And I just remember feeling so miserable and disconnected from my body. I was like, what is even going on? I truly didn't even know. And with that one thing led to another. I don't know for sure if this is what caused it, but I started to develop gut issues. This was around the time when I was like 18 years old. I remember towards the end of senior year of high school, I started to develop this horrible bloating. You guys, it was like feeling like you were 7 months pregnant, that type of uncomfortable and horrible feeling. I'll show pictures here, but it was just like, I had no idea what was going on. It felt like it came out of nowhere, of just this horrible bloating, irregularity, not feeling good, feeling so anxious and moody, and just overall not feeling great. And having horrible gut issues just made me feel even worse about myself. And this bloating felt like almost paralyzing. Like I didn't even want to do anything. I can't even begin to describe how awful it was. I was crying all the time, crying at night. Why is this happening to me? Why is this happening? And it was probably one of the lowest points in my life. Like you can see from these pictures that I was just not happy. So I'm going to need to do another video explaining everything about how I healed my gut, because it was just, that in itself is a whole video to discuss. You know, because I went to doctors and they all would tell me the same thing, like you're normal, you're healthy, like nothing's wrong. But I knew something was wrong. So that's how I kind of started to get into the holistic health and holistic healing, was because if the doctors weren't gonna help me, I had to help myself. So I started to do a bunch of research and learned what worked for my body and what didn't. But that is for another video. I can make a part 2 to this about how I healed my gut along my health journey, because there's just too much to include, and I wanna stick this just to a health journey so it's not like 20 minutes long of me speaking. Okay, so anyways, how I recovered from disordered eating and this really poor relationship I had with food and exercise. Long story short, I realized that my body was rebelling against me. All these gut issues, anxiety, bad place mentally, I was breaking out, I had no energy, my hormones were out of whack. All of these things that my body was showing me, it was signaling to me that I'm not healthy. I thought that was the definition of health, tracking every calorie and working out every day for 2 hours and doing all these things. And I realized it's not. It's really not. I saw how much my body was rebelling against me, and I had to let go of some control. And that's when I started to get help and talk to my parents about it. And we threw away the food scale. I deleted my FitnessPal cold turkey. And if you are watching this and you are struggling with disordered eating or an eating disorder, please talk to somebody. I wish that I talked to somebody that I trusted sooner, because they definitely helped a lot. Whoever that may be for you, please talk to somebody. And I just made a change for the better. It was hard. It didn't happen overnight. My mindset didn't shift overnight. Of course, learning to let go of counting calories and that control I had over every single thing I ate didn't happen overnight, but making it a point to change and to live my life for the better and to heal my body, because my body was not healthy. It really forced me to just try and give up that control. So I kept doing that, and I think what helped me even more was the fact when I went to college. So then I went to college my freshman year of school at Michigan, and it showed me and helped me realize that there's so much more to life and things to put your energy towards rather than everything you eat and worrying about if you skip a workout or whatever it is. I started focusing that energy towards my grades and towards people I was meeting and all these new experiences that I was having, and it made me realize to lose control of this once negative cycle that I kept having in my head. It didn't happen overnight, but I will say that working towards shifting that mindset and getting help from people and just doing things cold turkey really helped heal my relationship with food and exercise. Exercise, I didn't want to be a chore anymore. I wanted to enjoy it. I wanted to get back to that feeling when I first started working out, and I loved it and it gave me energy. So I cut back on the workouts. I stopped working out as much as I did. I stopped running 7 miles on the treadmill, and I just did exercises that made me feel good and gave me energy. And like I said, this did not happen overnight. Healing your relationship with food and healing your relationship with exercise and healing your body is a continual journey, and I don't think that it stops for any time for anyone. I'm still on my health journey. It's never linear, but I will say I'm at a place today where I am intuitively eating and listening to my body and doing what feels good and not looking at exercise or dieting as punishment or whatever it is. And honestly, not even dieting. Like, I don't remember the last time I told myself I'm on a diet, because dieting doesn't work. I tried that yo-yo dieting and it didn't work. It just led to more restriction and more binging. So just all in all, if there's anything to take away from this, it's that you are worth healing, and whatever that means for you. If that means healing your relationship with food or healing your body or healing your mindset, whatever it is, you are worth healing, and get the help that you need to heal if you do. Healing isn't a linear journey, but I'm so happy with the place that I'm at today. And I can also say with confidence that I am the most happy I am with my body than I have ever been in my entire life. And I have the least restriction with food that I do now. And I think most people think it's the opposite, that like if you don't restrict food and you don't do all of these things, then like you're gonna binge or you're gonna gain weight. And honestly, it's the opposite. At least for me, it was that once I stopped restricting and stopped telling myself what I could and could not have, and I stopped following diet culture, I was able to get in tune with my body and, you know, fuel it with nourishing whole foods and really start to listen that that's what it craves, that's what it wants, that's what it fuels and makes me feel my best. And so I'm never like dying to have these more unhealthy foods, and if I want it, I allow myself to have it. So healing is worth it. I'm so grateful that I'm at the place that I'm at today, that I can help you and talk to people and share my journey and help you realize that you're not alone and that everyone goes through some sort of health journey, whatever that may be, and it gets better. So if you got anything from my video today, I hope you realize it gets better and you're not alone. So I love you guys. Please comment any questions you have about my journey or my gut health journey, because I'm gonna make a part 2 in a video to that as well. A lot of people wanna know more about my gut health and how I healed. So comment any questions below you have for that. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Mwah, sending love.